One of my favorite lines to save more money this holiday season is, we just need to take a break this year. And it's good because it implies that it's not over. I'm not telling you that I'm never gonna do this again. I just need a break this year. I want to give you hope today that even if you have not saved a penny for this holiday season, it's not too late and you could still set a reasonable budget and stay within it without having to put Christmas on a credit card and then worry about it in January, because that's actually the worst thing we could do, right? We're not going to do that this year. And so let's just walk through a few simple steps of how you could set a realistic budget that you could actually stick to. Step number 1 is to list out everyone that you bought a gift for last year and how much you spent on it. Because this blew me away last year when I actually sat down and wrote out every single person and the price, from mailman to teachers to coaches to coworkers to bosses to family members to the kids. Who else am I forgetting? There was a lot. And I know in the last video, my mom said it made it sound like I'm totally against gifts and gift exchanges. That's not it. I like appreciating people during the holidays. I don't like gift exchanges with people where we're just all showing up, giving the person whatever it was they texted us that they wanted in the size and color that they wanted, and here's your gift, here's my gift, okay. It has no meaning. Those are the gift exchanges that I talked about in the last video that I think we should opt out of. So today, what I want to do is just write out a list of every single person, because we have to have an idea what we even spend on Christmas to know how to budget for it. Step 2, make a list of all of the other expenses. So the food that we buy for gatherings, the travel expenses that we have, decorations, Christmas cards, Christmas photos, stamps, new clothes for the family to wear to the different Christmas gatherings, extra eating out that we do during the holidays when we're really busy, and any charitable donations that we make. So that's our step 2, is to list out all of those items. Again, I know this can feel a little bit overwhelming, but most of this you should be able to do off the top of your head, so it shouldn't take too long, and we're just trying to get an idea of what we spent on Christmas last year. All right, so we have our 2 lists. Let's add everything up and see what we spent. It's usually more than we think. I couldn't believe when I added it up and we had spent $1,000 on Christmas, when I'm trying to be very simple with Christmas and keep everything scaled back. It blew me away. So now that we know what we've spent on Christmas in the past, now we need to figure out what is a realistic budget for our family that we could pay in cash this Christmas and not have to put it on a credit card, because our goal is to not have to put any of this on a credit card and then start off the new year with this hole that we have to try and dig out of. That's not what we want to do. And so I want you to take a really sober look at what we spent and realistically say, but what could I spend in cash this year? What if it's $300? What if that's realistically over the next month and a half, I could squeeze out an extra $300 out of our budget, or realistically $400. And then that's our budget, and that's what we're gonna work within. And if you're like, literally, I have no extra money. We already live paycheck to paycheck, everything is tight. I don't even know where I would come up with any cash for this Christmas. That's okay, we're gonna talk about that at the end. So once we have a realistic budget of what we could actually afford, because this is what we can actually afford this year for Christmas, now we go back to our list that we made and we start getting really creative, because when you decide in your mind that you're not gonna go into debt this Christmas, you start looking at your shopping list a whole lot differently. So we take the people that we give gifts to and we say, who are the most important people on this list that I need to prioritize their gifts? So it might be our children, or it might be other family members or a close friend, and we put them at the top of the list. Now we start to look at the other people on the list, like the teachers and the mailman. I love people that serve us. I think our children's teachers are angels. I wish I could give them $1,000 every Christmas because they're so awesome. But I also know that they wouldn't want me to go in debt for their Christmas present, or so that I could feel good acknowledging them. You know, we've talked to teachers. I have a whole separate video about what teachers want for Christmas. And just because we have to cut back this much this year, it doesn't mean that in the future then we can't scale back up the gifts that we're giving teachers and coaches. How about my mailman? Okay, I spent $10 on her last year. Again, if I'm looking at my budget, I only have $300 or $400. I can't give my mailman a $10 gift. I'm gonna write her a nice note, thank her for everything that she does, thank her for coming down our really long driveway some days, and that's what it's gonna have to be this year. And then my hope is for next year, I'm gonna actually start saving ahead of time, and then I can do a little bit more for her. So if we really take a sober look at our budget and what we actually have to spend, we're gonna start getting really creative, and we're gonna start looking at this list a lot differently than if we're just gonna put it on a credit card. And I know so often, you know, it's like, but Dawn, you don't know my family, but you don't know my in-laws, but yes, I actually do, because we're more alike than different, and I've heard all of these stories over the last few years as we've been talking about this, but I've also heard the stories of people that mustered up the courage to tell their friends and family that they simply don't have the money, or they would like to simplify Christmas this year. And so often the stories are, I didn't think they would understand, I didn't think they would come around to it, but they're okay with it. And what a weight that is off our shoulder. And like I said at the beginning, one of my favorite lines to get out of these extra things that we don't have money for is to just say we need a break this year. Work's been so demanding. Oh, we have 4 kids. There's just been so much going on with them. Oh, I've been caring for my dad. It's taken a lot of extra time. So we just need to take a break this year. We need to take a break from sending out Christmas cards, from the cookie exchanges, from this gift exchange, to giving above and extra to charities that we really care about. We just need to take a break this year. And it helps us to save money. We're not saying we're never gonna do it again. And it's kind of hard to argue with, right? Because if I need a break, I need a break. And so if they don't understand that, I don't know what else to do, because it's not a lie, right? This is the truth. I just need a break this year. Okay. I get a little passionate about this because I just think there's so much more than gifts in our life. I know we have gift people that are very important to us. I have a twin sister that's a gift person, right? And so I don't want to slight anybody during the holidays, but I also know, as we've worked to get out of debt, how much freedom there is in that. Or like I said, starting the new year without having this huge credit bill, because probably we already have a balance on our credit card, right? And not digging the hole any deeper. If we can just be really level-headed about this and say, just because I've done this in the past doesn't mean that this has to be our reality again this Christmas season. All right, so let's talk about price comparison tools, because if we have a limited budget, we have to be super careful and savvy with the gifts that we are gonna buy. So there's a website called Camel. I have no idea. Where do they come up with these names, right? It helps compare prices on Amazon and third parties as well. So I just typed in Instant Pot. So if I want to get somebody an Instant Pot for Christmas, it shows me what the current price is on Amazon, what the lowest price has been. So the current price is $64.95. It's been as low as $49.95. And that's a good indication that it could go that low again this holiday season. But again, because I'm so focused on spending every dollar carefully this year, I was like, oh, why don't I try Facebook Marketplace and see if there's any brand new ones on there? Now, not everybody would feel comfortable giving a used gift, but for me, for the person I would be giving it to, I would feel okay with that. So then I went onto Facebook Marketplace. I found one for $40, brand new in the box, and it even had my favorite Instant Pot cookbook with it. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is almost too good to be true. Like, I one search on Facebook Marketplace and here it was. I'm like, this is hilarious. So not only could I give this person the Instant Pot, but also a cookbook to go along with it. And I could even go through the cookbook and mark my favorite recipes in there, and how awesome of a gift would that be? And now it was only $40 compared to $65. So $15 right there. Again, when we commit to this lesser budget, we get really creative, and I think you'll be so surprised at the things that come your way when this is what we're focused on. Having a friend say, hey, I have this new in the package, do you have any interest in it? Finding it used online. I went into a thrift store one time and found this Playmobil set that one of the boys wanted, brand new, still in the box, and it was a third the price of what it would be new in the store. So when we shift our focus, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how some of these things just find their way to you in much less expensive forms. All right, so here's the other thing if we stop using our credit card during the holiday seasons. So maybe you say, okay, I'm gonna try and like eke out $400 for our holiday season. It's gonna be tight, but I'm gonna try it. So what you're gonna find though is that when you're using your debit card instead of your credit card, is that when you're in the store or you're online shopping, you're not gonna be as tempted by all of the other deals that are going on this time of year. Like, I found even for myself, when I was paying for cash, which cash is great if you can, but otherwise just having a set amount on our debit card, is that I wouldn't stop at Starbucks and get a $5 coffee then. I wouldn't be buying stuff for myself or stocking up on other things that I didn't actually need. I also was a lot more careful about not eating out. And so it'd be tempting just to stop at McDonald's after I was done shopping, right? Because I was tired and I didn't want to go home and make something. But instead I would just keep frozen pizzas in the freezer because it's not healthy, but it's still cheaper than us going to a fast food restaurant. So again, when we have this limited budget, we're much more careful with all the extras that we purchase during the holiday season too. Okay, and then one last thing that I think is important in regards to sticking to a budget that we might not think about is declining invitations for really good things. But some of them come with extra costs. But the other thing is that when we take on too many activities, because we all have full schedules already and now we're adding the holidays on top of it, right? And so if we take on these extra activities, it is almost guaranteed that we're gonna get pushed over to crazy town, like just caught reacting and not being intentional with our energy. And so when that happens, then we make impulsive decisions. We spend full price on things, we just grab things to buy things that we wouldn't normally spend the money on. That's why I think it's especially important if you're on a limited budget to be really careful with the invitations that you accept, not just to save money by not going to the event, but also to save your energy so that you can be making really level-headed decisions with the money that you have. So like I said, what if you're just like, I literally have no extra money this holiday season? I think we have to really take a hard look then at the gifts that we buy and cut out absolutely everything that we possibly can, because it's not Christmas if we're going into debt. Like, that's not what Christmas is about. Like, that's just not Christmas. And so I think most of us would probably agree it's important for us to acknowledge our kids during this time, but beyond that, I don't know. I think that we have to really just cut everything else out. And even for our kids, I've read a lot of stories where you've said that you've talked to your kids and said, you know what? I know we've done this in the past. I know, maybe even Santa was really generous and he brought this in the past, but this year things are gonna be a little bit different and there might not be as many gifts, but we're gonna go ice skating together. We're gonna go sledding together. We're gonna bake cookies. Insert really low cost or no cost activity here, because if you study this, if you look at the surveys of kids, what they want, especially right now, is time with their parents. And so the average parent spends three minutes a day engaging their children. And if you ask kids what they really want, they want time with their parents. And what's hard about that is it's not marketed the same, right? There's no commercials on TV. You're not getting any flyers or catalogs in the mail where it has family activities in it or things that you could do with your kids. It's not marketed to the kids, so often they don't know to ask for it. And so if we're saying, you know what, we're gonna get one small gift for you or a few small gifts for you this year, but then we're gonna do this together. So it feels like, but our kids expect this, but this is what we've always done. I can't go back now. But activities and things that you do with your kids are gonna have such a bigger impact on them and their emotional and mental health than any single thing that you can buy them, even if all their friends have it. So, okay, I don't want to get too preachy. I don't want to, tell you you're doing everything wrong or anything like that. I want to give you permission to scale back your Christmas if you don't have the money for it, because it's too stressful. It is so stressful to spend money we don't have on Christmas. And so that's my hope for today, just to say it is okay to spend less money on it. And not everybody, I mean, maybe not everybody will understand, but if they don't understand, then especially I don't think it's worth spending money you don't have on them. I don't know, I guess that's just how I think about it, but I don't know. So I hope this is really helpful. I have a bunch of different videos on Christmas, what teachers want. We've made our fun little gingerbread houses that seriously are kids' favorite thing. I'll link to all those different Christmas resources down below, some toys that we get for our kids that we don't hate. So if you're looking for something like that too. So I'll link to that all below, but I hope this is helpful. A thumbs up is always appreciated. I hope you subscribe so we can spend more time together, and I'll look forward to visiting with you again really soon.